Wednesday afternoon baseball is next. And good afternoon, everybody. We'd like to welcome you to Corpus Christi, Texas, home of the Hooks. And now here is the star of the show, John Baker. Well, thank you, Bob, and hello, everybody. We welcome you from South Texas, from Corpus Christi. It is the first of a doubleheader today between the visiting San Antonio Missions and your Corpus Christi Hooks. Well, today we'll have two 7-inning games with 30 minutes in between. So, gotta say, a pretty good day for baseball as we get ready to make up from yesterday in this one. Series continues tomorrow evening. Our first pitch at 7:05 for Thirsty Thursday. $2 day Dr. Peppers and soft drinks, chips and sandwiches, barbecue sandwiches, all types of things. And even don't forget, go to our Whataburger. We have some at our concession stands and built-in places. Really good. Well, anyway, boy, yesterday the rain fell, and boy, that's what canceled the game yesterday. But anyway, to get going here today is making up two games against San Antonio and the Hooks, and so far, going to be pretty good. Well, I'm joined in the booth by my friend and partner, Bob. How you doing?
Doing good there, John. How are you?
I'm doing good. Well, I got to say, that was some storm yesterday. We saw a lot of rain here in Corpus Christi, and so far today, partly cloudy, hot, about 99 degrees, just one more temperature to triple-digit temps. So far, humidity is up about 75%. And I got to say, any word on advice to the Hook fans here attending the ball game today?
Well, I got to say, John, everybody needs to drink water, stay hydrated, make sure you get sunscreen on those arms and any exposed, uncovered areas. You want to make sure that you're just staying protected from the UVA, UVB rays, because any sunburn, oh boy, that will do you really bad. If you get sunburn, it's just start peeling off your skin. And so far, you have dead skin and all types of stuff. But anyway, John Baker does have remedies in case if you ever do get sunburn. And so far, take it away, John. Well, my stepmother has always told me the best thing for sunburns is you take like a aloe vera from a cactus and you put it on the affected burn, and then like how you make tea and stuff, you get your tea bags, your water, and you put those tea bags in the water, and then you take your normal washcloth, you dip it in the tea, and you put it on the affected burns, which that is pretty good. I want to thank my stepmother for just getting that remedy across, and just wanted to share that with y'all here in the Texas League today on this Wednesday afternoon, as we know it's going to be a hot one here, a 99-degree day here today as we get ready for this first of a doubleheader. Our scheduled time, 4 o'clock here in Game 1. Don't forget our 7-inning contest here today. 30 minutes, and then another 7 to be determined at what time we will get going. But I do have a pretty good guess that Game 2 will be around the 7 o'clock time, and that way it'll be pretty good for the nighttime goers that come to the game. But anyway, if you did have a ticket that was purchased yesterday for Tuesday's game, and yes, it did get rained out, you could come by to the box office, exchange that for this game and the next game. It's 2 games for the price of 1 ticket, and so far, that'd be pretty good for a lot of people. for those that got rained out yesterday. Those that had tickets for Tuesday, and now today, Wednesday, the 17th of June, you can come to our box office here in Corpus Christi and get your tickets from yesterday exchanged from the rained out game to a game here today or the future Corpus Christi Hooks game. And so far, it'd be pretty good. Anyway, we'll go back to last week. San Antonio losing Sunday by the final score 5-1 against the Frisco Rough Riders. And I will say, boy, Frisco really put a beating on San Antonio on Sunday. And I got to say, Bob, that was some game, wasn't it? Yeah, I got to say, John, it absolutely was. 5 runs in for the Rough Riders, and only San Antonio had 1 run only, and that was it. That was pretty much the entire game for them. But today, it's going to be a pretty good one as we go forward in this one. Well, yesterday's games, and I will say that, boy, Frisco and Arkansas, it looked like they were in a boxing ring. And so far, boy, the Rough Riders and Arkansas, they played 12 innings yesterday. And they started at 11 o'clock. The game didn't end till close to about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But anyway, the Rough Riders, they really punched hard, and they had the bottom of the 12th inning. 2 runs in to score, and the walk-off was a runner from third. Well, the bases were loaded for the Rough Riders, and they whacked in a base hit, and that scored in the winning run from third. The Rough Riders beat Arkansas 7-6. Well, last night we had 3 of the other ball clubs, or should I say 6 ball clubs. Wichita beats Springfield 7-3. Tulsa beats Northwest Arkansas 6-5. And Amarillo beats Midland 9-6. I will say, as we do look at the Texas League standings, Frisco 3.5 games against San Antonio. Amarillo 31, so they'll lead about 2.5 against Midland, a lot against Corpus Christi. Tulsa, 42 as they took the win against Northwest Arkansas. Arkansas 39, losing to Frisco. And I will say, boy, that's just not good for the Arkansas Travelers. Northwest Arkansas and Wichita tied in a foot race, or, give them in the boxing ring where they could punch each other's lights out. I'm just kidding. But anyway, those 2 teams combined against the Kansas City Royals and the Minnesota Twin affiliates. Boy, they're doing pretty good. 27 even for that. Last but not least, the Springfield Cardinals down 26-36, down in last place in the North Division. And I got to say, that was pretty good. But anyway, as we go to the start of this day, boy, everybody drink lots of water. I mean, so far it's going to be a hot one. Springfield and Wichita going in their ball game as they started at 12:05, which that was a pretty good ball game. We'll give you final scores later on. But anyway, San Antonio getting ready to go in this broadcast. Frisco and Arkansas, their doubleheader game getting ready to go. They had 1 game in Arkansas at All-American Ballpark. When the Rough Riders were there a couple weeks back, they had 1 game getting rained out. Now they have to make that up in Frisco. Anyway,
You know that San Antonio and Corpus Christi will have 2 games today to make up. Then you got Tulsa and Northwest Arkansas, and Midland and Amarillo ready to go by 7:05, and that's when Game 2 for Arkansas and Frisco, San Antonio and Corpus Christi will get ready to go on those games as we approach that 7 o'clock hour here tonight. But anyway, as we get going here today, well, almost 4 o'clock as we get going, 3:59 as we get close to the 4 o'clock hour this afternoon. We want everybody to just be safe, have fun, and yes, let's go both sides here. Well, San Antonio, well, this will be their one and only road trip to Corpus Christi this year, and then Arkansas next week for 6 only for the year between the 2 ball clubs of the San Antonio Missions and the Arkansas Travelers for next week. But anyway, we'll go ahead and take you down on the field, and so far a hot one here today as we get things ready to rock and roll on this Wednesday afternoon. Hooks wearing their road blues and grays, but they're going to be home blues and whites here today, so that will be pretty good. Well, Brandon Walter, a left-hander, will get the start here in Game 1. And so far, you look at the ERA, 3.35, as getting ready to go for Corpus Christi. Got to say, nice to have a 7 innings here in Bayfront Park, and so far, pretty good. Here's the shortstop, Jackson Wolf, to lead us off here today for San Antonio. And away we go. The first pitch in for the strike, and we are underway right at 4 o'clock on the money. We are not a minute late, so thank goodness for that. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that's a swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. Partly cloudy, but at high temperature at 99 degrees. Clouds and sun mixed as we go through today. First strikeout here for the starter, Walter, and here's the San Antonio Mission starting lineups. Wolf, Roberts, Salas will lead off 3. Sanabria, Carpathios, Fabian Middle, Vertigo, Murphy, and Vertigo will round it out for San Antonio. Guy Roberts lean it off as he'll take that one outside. 1 ball and no strikes. You look at Amarillo and Midland, boy, they are trying to get the foot race going against the Rough Riders. But tell you one thing, 2 games today against those 2 ball clubs in Statesman's Park in Dallas, Texas, Frisco area. Arkansas, a pretty good Seattle Mariners affiliate, which they've been a proud affiliate for a long time, at least a couple of decades. Here is the 2-1. That one is a ground hop straightaway to Brandon Walter, down to first, and in time goes out number 2.
Batting third, catcher, number 90.
The catcher, Ethan Salas, coming in now. Boy, good thing that the clouds are in the way here today in Corpus Christi. And that one is outside. The count now 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. The count now 1-1. 2 outs here in the top half of the first for San Antonio. And that one is going to be out of play, foul. The count now 1-2. Only 7 in this one, and about 7 o'clock tonight will be game 2 after a 30-minute rest period. Well, that will be outside, and a swing and a miss, and that will do for the half inning. Well, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio. We head now bottom of the first, and it's no score through half an inning. Left-hander Omar Cruz getting the rehab assignment from San Diego. Start on the mound for San Antonio here today. ERA 4.91. Getting on the mound for the Missions. And I'm going to say Omar Cruz, just a popular guy in the Padres organization. And that is going to be in for the strike, and we are underway. As we'll lead it off here for Corpus Christi, Riley Unroe getting in. So far, sun and clouds mixed. Don't you just like that, Bob?
Oh, yeah, especially if you're on the beach and you can definitely see the shade and the sun and clouds. I tell you what, it's pretty good.
Well, with one down, Unroe being retired, Sullivan Gulamente will be next. Austin Strom Whitaker, Chavalon, Sacco Jr., and Encarnacion rounded out for Corpus Christi. Center fielder is Joseph Sullivan. Sullivan coming in as he's ready to go. Wind up and the pitch, and that is out of play, foul. The count now 0-1. You do see some people wearing those tank tops. That's pretty good, but make sure you're wearing sunscreen here today. Temperature up 99 degrees, and humidity is extremely high, so make sure you are caring for yourself and make sure you do the proper procedures of cooling down slowly and not fast.
That is for sure. When you're here, you want to make sure that you are taking precautions on your safety when it comes to heat-related things.
Yep, they got to say, Bob, you're right. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Joseph Sullivan. 1 man down, nobody on for Corpus Christi. And here's the pitch. High in the air, straightaway right field. Carpathios gets under it, makes a play, and that's out number 2. Boy, the last 4 weeks of this first half is pivotal. All 6 games and all 4 weeks are really pivotal in this first half race.
That is right, John. I got to say, this is the moment of triumph for these ball clubs. This is where winners are made in Double-A.
That is for sure. Garrett Gulamente coming in. 0-1 the count now to him. And here's the pitch, and that one is a slider outside as the count now 1-1. San Antonio will be here in Corpus Christi till Sunday. Then it'll be the road trip to Arkansas right after that. Here's a 1-1, and that one is popped foul. The count now at 1-2. Missions return home. They'll have July 30th. They'll celebrate July 4th, Independence Day weekend. And then it'll be off to Midland right after that Sunday game against Amarillo. They'll wrap up the first half in Midland. Well, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on here in Corpus Christi. We head to the second inning. It's no score, 3-1.
Leading off, first baseman.
Second inning set to go. Here's first baseman Romeo Sanabria. Sanabria getting set to go here in this ball game, and that one is going to be lofted high in the air, straight away center. And that is out number 1.
Batting fifth, right fielder, number
So far, a pretty good one as, well, San Antonio only have 9 more games at Corpus Christi this year, and they'll have 12 more with Frisco, 6 against Arkansas. And that one's going to be pelted high in the air, straight away. That is down. And Carpathios chugging, and he's going to go for 3. The relay, and he's got a 1-out triple.
Man, he chugged like he carried a piano right on his back there, John.
Yeah, he sure did. That was a good play right there. And so far, boy, he was racing. This guy can race around and even try to get a inside the park home run if you allow him to.
He could do that too.
Albert Fabian, the designated hitter, coming in for San Antonio. Runner at third after that triple. Boy, that was a good triple.
Well, fans in San Antonio getting that triple meat cheeseburger coupon courtesy of Whataburger, and
That's a ball.
so far pretty good on that. That one is 1 ball and 1 strike, but they will argue that. But never mind, that would be the count now, 0-2. Well, Frisco and Arkansas fixing to go in their ball games. Wind up and the pitch, and that is outside. The count now at 1-2. So these 4 teams today, Arkansas and Frisco, San Antonio and Corpus Christi, they'll play 2 doubleheader games today. Springfield and Wichita played this afternoon. And we'll hold off that final score until later on. So don't want to give any spoilers between Springfield and the Wind Surge. Rosemont Verdugo coming in now as he'll take in a cold strike. It's 0-1. Boy, glad the rain is done. What about you think, Bob? Well, I got to say, John, we're glad that the rain is gone, and so far, partly cloudy skies, but as we get into the latter part of the evening, that's when it'll just be a few clouds from time to time. So, most evidently, beautiful evening as we go along the way. Well, that is for sure. Baseball is back here in Corpus Christi, taking on the visiting San Antonio Missions. 2 balls and 1 strike to Verdugo. That one is a high pop-up, straightaway center. And that will do for the half inning. No runs on a hit, no errors. Runner left stranded at third. And we go now to the bottom half of the second inning. Trevor Austin will be up for Corpus Christi when we come back from our commercial break. Now set to go for the bottom of the second, right here for Corpus Christi Baseball Network. Trevor Austin, the next batter up, middle half of the order, 4, 5, and 6, due up against the San Antonio starter, Omar Cruz. Get ready to go, and that one's going to be lined foul. The count now 0-1. Great crowd we have here on this Wednesday afternoon, and gotta say, hope y'all stay for 2 games here today at Bayfront Park. Going to be an interesting series start. First game going on right now. Second game later on this evening. Kellen Strom, the next batter up. Boy,
14 innings here today. 14 there between Arkansas and Frisco. Boy, it's a foot race between the Rough Riders, with San Antonio being in second place. But it will be determined who's getting off in the playoff rounds after this first half is done. No balls, 2 strikes.
Nope,
Pivotal
ball.
as those last 4 weeks in the Texas League First Half South Division. Really important as we all look at it. Got to say, 4 weeks between 3 South and 1 North Division team. It's very important on the 6 games. Here's a 1-2 offering, and that one is popped foul. And the count now holding at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 offering. Here is the pitch. And that's a swing and a miss. They got him down for out number 2.
Hitter, number 24.
Boy, second strikeout for the rehab assignment. Omar Cruz had him all the way in San Diego. He was asked to do rehab here in San Antonio, and gotta say, last week he did pretty good. Here's Ty Whitaker. So far, pretty good. That's going to be right there. Line drive, and that is through for the first Corpus Christi hit. And he'll stretch it into a double, and now that's 1 hit apiece for the 2 ball clubs.
Number 44.
Gotta say there, John, absolutely right. He carried that ball right there, and it went into the foul grounds, but left fielder Kai Murphy went after it.
Heck!
Here is Jason Chavalon as he comes in. The count now 0-1 to him. Runner at second, 2 down. No score to this point. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one is high flying in the air, and that one will go out of play, foul. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. They got him. And he blew it right by him, and that ends the half inning. 3rd inning set to go for San Antonio. We come back in the Corpus Christi Hooks Baseball Network. No score through 2. Whataburger is served hot and fresh here in Corpus Christi, and so far the Hooks built the first Whataburger in 1970 here in Corpus Christi. Well, leading it off, the top of the third right now, the Hooks Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. Kai Murphy getting set to go as we lead it off here in the top of the third for the San Antonio Missions. 8-9-1 against Brandon Walter. No balls, one strike the count now to him as we get going here in the third. I'm going to say a pretty good one. That one is going to be a ground ball straight away first, and that is out number 1.
Batting ninth, second baseman, number 11.
Well, the second baseman coming in, that is Luis Verdugo. Marcos Castañon off tonight. So he'll have the night off here for San Antonio after his hard work and performance on Sunday. Well, Marcos Castañon sure deserves a night off or two, but most definitely that would be pretty good for him. But, you know, evidently he watches from the dugout, and so far pretty good on that. Right there, ground ball, straight away, in, out at first, just by a footstep. And that'll lead off the shortstop, Jackson Wolf. Also, Luis Verdugo playing the 9 spot.
That missed. That's a ball.
Jackson Wolf, normally a relief pitcher, but they'll have him right where he needs him. But anyway, pretty good. Right there, the count now 1-1. Nobody on for San Antonio. 0-1 the count now to Jackson Wolf for what he did today. And that is in for a strike. The count now 1-2. Well, Cloud's really starting to make some good sense here this afternoon. Blocking out that sun, which that's very, very good. The humidity is high, the temperature is high, but, you know, stay hydrated as we go along here this afternoon. No runs hit to Rivers and nobody left for San Antonio. Bottom of 3 coming up. Number 4 is Tommy Sacco Jr. as he'll lead off the bottom of the third for Corpus Christi. 8-9-1 as he comes in. We'll take a strike inside as the count now 0-1. Boy, got a great crowd here today watching this ball game. And yes, they're all here because of yesterday when it got rained out. Well, these two ball clubs coming back in action here on a Wednesday. And right there, that is out number 1. It's a backwards K, the 4th for Omar Cruz. And getting this one. Yamal Encarnacion coming in now. As he's ready to go, we'll take that one in for a strike. It's the count now 0-1. So far, love our brand new scoreboard. We had this one last week as we took on Frisco here in San Antonio, and it's pretty good. No balls, 2 strikes to count now, and here's the windup and the pitch, swing and a miss down in the dirt. Throw down the first to Sanabria as he'll take him out for out number 2. Boy, pretty good one right there, John. He really got him swinging down in the dirt. Got him booby-trapped as well. Yeah, he sure did. All right, leadoff batter, Riley Unroe getting set to go. And that's a swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. Don't forget, we'll have 4 more innings after this one. And that one is going to be in for a strike. The count now 0-2. So far, got to love the cloud cover. I mean, it definitely blocks out the sun, but sun and clouds mixed as we go through today. Weather-wise for Corpus Christi, it will be partly cloudy skies, but as we get into Game 2, those clouds will start to disperse out more. So far, it will be
a few clouds, but temperature will remain hot and humid as we go through the evening. That one's right there, out of play. Still hanging on, the count now 0-2 to Riley Unroe. Yesterday had the rain. I guess it made it humid. But that one is going to be out of play foul. Still hanging on. The count now 0-2. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And that's a 1-2-3 half inning for Corpus Christi as we exit 3, no score, as San Antonio gets ready to go for the 4th. Well, we get you to the 4th inning. Center fielder Kai Roberts coming in, 0 for 1, a ground out. Getting ready to go here today for San Antonio, and that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Fans watching from Nelson Wolff Stadium. Pretty good as, boy, they go in and they don't wait for the missions to literally be back home, but it is a 2-week road trip. Corpus Christi this first stop, Arkansas next week. Amarillo will be our last 6-game homestand of the first half South Division. And then after that, we'll close it off in Midland there at Franco Park. That one inside for a cold strike. The count now 0-1. First half goes pretty quick. I thought it was opening day last week, but gotta say, those games go pretty quick. Especially when we had that 3-game series in Tulsa. Oh, yeah. I remember that. We had Tulsa and Corpus Christi. We headed to Midland and then back to San Antonio to take on the Sod Poodles. And then we headed back to Tulsa for the last 6 games. Right there, ground ball. Straight away short. Throw down, and that's out number 2. Well, especially with the severe weather, this has been one active month. One active year, I should say. May 1st, we lost our equipment due to lightning. Lightning struck the stadium, and so far we lost a lot of equipment that one evening. And then May 20th, 5 horses died out there in Woodsboro, Texas, right outside of Houston. No balls and 1 strike, and that one is foul. The count now 0-2. And it's sad that, 5 beautiful souls were lost on that fateful evening. Horses stood under that tree, and the owners heard a loud boom. And all of a sudden, the next morning, they go out there, and they're lying dead under the tree. Oh, that's just kind of sad there, John. It very is, I will say. Well, anyway, that will pretty much do, as that will be out number 3. Beautiful shot from the third base side of our Corpus Christi Harbor, and so far we head now to the bottom of the 4th, and it's no score through 4.5.
Center fielder, number 90.
Joseph Sullivan coming in now for Corpus Christi. 0 for 1 flyout for the Hooks. But I tell you one thing, our thoughts and prayers to the people of that ranch in Woodsboro. And so far, may God rest those beautiful horses, and may they be rested in peace after that tragic evening. That one right there, and that is high. And Corpus Christi scores, and they'll lead it by 1-0. Joseph Sullivan really coming through, and he's going to have that first run for himself. And the home crowd goes crazy. But pretty good as we look at it. Now Hooks lead it by
1-0 against San Antonio. Here's Garrett Golamente. As he swings and misses at the initial offering. And is the count now 0-1. 0 for 1 strikeout by the first baseman. So far, we'll have the starter go for 4. We'll have a reliever go for the last 3 here today. Omar Cruz will be the starting opener here for Game 1. Jackson Wolf, or somebody in the pitching assignments, will get ready to go for the second round of this half inning. Trevor Austin coming in, who's 0 for 1, and that one's going to be downstairs. Throw down, making sure he doesn't move from first. And that is 1 ball, no strikes in the dirt. 0 for 1 fly out by Austin. But I got to say, the horses there in West Creek Trail Rides of San Antonio, they are doing really good. Well, that's good. The owner's doing good. Everybody's good, right? Everybody is doing good. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Trevor Austin, as that's a swing and a miss, and the count now 1-2. Corpus Christi in front of the lead here this Wednesday afternoon. 1-0 score. Boy, just a pretty good one. Ty Murphy goes over to look at it, but lets it drop right off the bat. And here's a 1-2. Swing and a miss. They got him.
Now batting, right fielder, Kelly.
7th strikeout for San Antonio pitching. Pretty good right there, John. Kellen Strom coming in now. Just the sun and clouds combined makes it pretty good. Gets everybody nice and cool. And people ain't being cooked alive from the afternoon heat. Temperature 99 degrees, partly cloudy, humidity up 75%. As we said in the start of this live stream, that one is high fly in the air, straight away up to left field is Ty Murphy making a beautiful catch. And boy, out number 2 is his.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 24.
Designated hitter Ty Whitaker coming in, 1 for 1 double to the trips to Corpus Christi next year in 2027. Well, just hope that the schedule will say it. I don't know, but we'll give you a instant replay of that 2027 schedule when it comes out. Right there, swing and a miss. They got him. And so far with Joseph Sullivan this half inning, he comes in across the score. And now it's a 1-run ball game for Corpus Christi. 5th inning set to go. The Hooks lead San Antonio 1-0. Braden Carpathios, next batter up, will start the 5th for San Antonio when we come back. Top half of the 5th inning set to go for San Antonio right now. The Hooks Baseball Network. Well, top half of the 5th inning. Here is middle half of the order. Braden Carpathios to lead it off. And that one is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Michael Knorr and Sam Carlson, two right-handers warming up in the Hooks bullpen. No balls and one strike. The count. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that one's going to be lofted high in the air, straightaway right field. Doesn't get down, but it goes to the right fielder for the out, and there's one down.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 40.
Albert Fabian, designated hitter, is 0 for 1, a strikeout. Pretty good afternoon as we get things rocking and rolling here. That one ground ball straight away second. In time, out number 2. Two quick up and downs here for San Antonio. Boy, I tell you what, if the Corpus Christi Hooks can win this one, they could claim the 28th of the season against the Missions. Oh, that would be pretty good there, John, I would say. Rosman Verdugo coming in, 1-0 the count now to him. And that would take inside a strike. The count now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count now 1-2. Boy, getting him to chase off of that one. And right there, strike 3 called, and that will do for the half inning is over. So, no runs, hits, or errors for San Antonio. And we head for the bottom of the 5th. Next on the Hooks Baseball Network.
Number 44.
Jason Chivalone getting ready to go for Corpus Christi. Bottom of the 5th inning. And that's going to lead it off for Omar Cruz. The count now 0-1. Well, anyway, Cruz will have 4 innings on the mound. Now it'd be somebody else's turn. And we'll turn it over to a relief arm coming up for San Antonio. It'll be pretty good as Evan Federer will be getting his call to the San Antonio mound. Evan coming in at a scouting report, 94 in the 4-seam, curveball, changeup, a slider. Getting going for the Missions. Jason Chivalone coming in for Corpus Christi. We'll greet him up. And here is the 0-1. And that is in for a strike. The count now 0-2. Boy, tell you one thing, this game is going by up and down. Folks have a 1-0 advantage against San Antonio here this afternoon. Ground ball straight away. The second for 1, and they get him. Out number 1.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 4.
Well, the shortstop is Tommy Sacco Jr. as he comes in. He's ready to go. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout here this afternoon. Wind up in the pitch, and that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Crowd looking forward to another home run if it looks to be in there somewhere.
Well, I tell you one thing, John, they certainly would love to see something going, but the Hooks have a front lead, 1-0.
No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Got him. Boy, he blew it right by him. Federer gets that strikeout.
Now batting, left fielder,
Make that 8
number
total
17.
strikeouts for San Antonio pitching today. Here's Yomal Encarnacion as he comes in today for San Antonio, or for Corpus Christi. I do beg your pardon. But anyway, yep, I get the 2 coming in. Here's the 0-1, and that one's going to be high flying in the air. And the center fielder, Kai Roberts, makes the play, and that will end the half inning. Murphy, Verdugo, and Wolf due up for the 6th inning coming up. Well, halfway through this first half of the doubleheader,
And so far, boy, that was pretty good line drive hit for San Antonio. Gets one man a triple. As we have the instant replay of this one. Most evidently, the instant replay is the favorite of all Texas League baseball in the first half.
Leading off.
Top half of the sixth inning for San Antonio. And here is Kai Murphy to lead us off as we give you the in-score look on the screen. Boy, 2 more innings here in this first game. San Antonio down to their final 6 outs.
Ball.
And that will be a ball outside as the count now. 1 ball, no strikes. Trey McLaughlin and Sam Carlson. 2 right-handers warming up for Corpus Christi. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one fouled, and the count now 1-1. Arkansas and Frisco going in their first game there at Statesman's Park. Game 2 set to go later on. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the left fielder, Kai Murphy. Coming in, getting set. Here's the windup, and that one is outside. The count now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Murphy. And the pitch. Right there, ground ball, and it gets the line. And the tying run, Murphy gets going, and they are not going to let him get off the third that easily. Boy, awfully close as he safely got back to second base. Trying to overstep his bounds to get to a triple, but evidently the double will hold him there. Well, that'll pretty much do for number 60 as he gets relieved out of this ball game, and so far they'll turn it over to a new reliever.
Now pitching. Number
Right-hander Michael Knorr getting the call for Corpus Christi. And so far the scouting report, boy, look at that. 97 on the 4-seam, a slider and a curveball and the 2-seamer on his scouting report. So far, Michael Knorr now pitching for Corpus Christi as he'll meet up the second baseman, Luis Verdugo. 0 for 1, a ground out here for San Antonio. 0 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one foul. Count now, 0-2. And that's a swing and a miss, and they blew it right by him for the out. And there is 1 down. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The umpires wearing light blues. It looks like Corpus Christi today wearing a greenish color on their jersey. And that one's going to be a liner straight away. That'll get down through for a hit. And San Antonio scores in the RBI double by Jackson Wolf. Boy, I'll tell you one thing, Missions fans really look into that one. And especially there in our city, San Antonio, boy, they're cheering right now for the Missions. That is for sure. Even though San Antonio is in behind the Frisco Rough Riders, the Rough Riders hold that first place position. And it's between San Antonio, Amarillo, and Midland that these 3 teams are right behind trying to catch the Rough Riders. And whoever claims that first place position will get that playoff ticket punched for the playoff rounds. Yeah, I got to say, John, hopefully San Antonio could get back in there and get on the horse. That one right there is a swing and a miss. Roberts down on strikes.
Number 90.
And that'll bring up number 90. as he comes in. That is the catcher, Ethan Salas. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. 0 for 2 strikeout. Ground out by Salas here this afternoon. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be a 1-1 tie here for both sides here. San Antonio gets one, and Corpus Christi got one. That's an even score right there, 1-1. Right there, the count now 1-2. These two teams battling it here in the South Division. Most evidently, it is pivotal these last 4 weeks of the regular first half. And that will be it. Swing and a miss, but Jackson Wolf getting one for San Antonio will tie it up. It's 1-1. We go now to the bottom half of the 6th inning for Corpus Christi. And tied at 1. Riley Unroad getting set to go as we'll be back here for the Missions and the Hooks Baseball Networks. Bow set to go as we lead it off in the bottom of the 6th, right now on the Hooks Baseball Network. Riley Unroad getting set to go. 1-1 tie here between the Missions and Corpus Christi here this afternoon. Evan Federer, the first reliever here in Game 1. We'll have 2 new relievers to go in Game 2, starting off in just a little while. 1 ball, 1 strike to Riley Unroad as he comes in. Getting ready to go here for Corpus Christi. That one is right there, now to play. The count now 1-2. So you got to say, over the past 2 years that Corpus Christi had this new logo and looks, just wish they would bring back that old look and be like, hey, we like this to look better. Rockhounds would have had a pretty good one, too, if they would have kept their original look. RH logo, that was orange all the way, a dog holding the baseball. That was one of my favorite looks for the Rockhounds logo. Joseph Sullivan, 1 for 2. Hits that one high in the air, straightaway left field. Murphy under it. Makes the play, and that is out number 2. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Corpus Christi down to their final 4 outs to get something going. Here is Garrett Golamente. 1 for 2 here today by Garrett, and he's going to hit that one high in the air. And that will be out number 3 to Kai Murphy. Boy, so far tied ball game here as we go to the 7th inning. Sanabria, Carpathios, and Fabian will round it out as they start the 7th.
Number 93.
Romeo Sanabria, the first baseman, comes up now for San Antonio. Middle half of the order. Getting going. Right there, a curveball swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. 30 minutes, or 45, I should say, but most evidently we'll give them 45. Game 2 starting at 7:30, it looks.
Now batting.
But we'll see how that goes.
Number 22.
Braden Carpathios coming in now. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that one's going to be outside. The count now 0-1. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That's going to be a swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, the count. Right there, ground ball. Carpathios gets out number 2, and as he gets into a ground ball situation, well, here comes the manager for the second time in game 1. Now number 77 is getting relieved out of this ball game, and so far pretty good on top of that.
Now pitching, number 32.
Corpus Christi, Trey McLaughlin coming in now. Scouting report right at a 95, the 4-seamer slider sinker. 3 choices to choose from for him as he gets on the mound for Corpus Christi. Designated hitter Albert Fabian will greet him up first. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that one's going to be out of play, foul, and the count now 0-1. Corpus Christi will have the bottom half of the 7th inning get going, and that's going to be a liner straight away up to first, and that gets up to a right field base hit.
Now batting, third.
Boy, and pretty good as you look at this guy that he comes in and he whacks it right where he wanted it, and so far just pretty good on top of that. Rosman Verdugo coming in. Hits that one out of play, foul. The sun and clouds combine, and we'll have a nice evening hue in Corpus Christi. Time now about 6:45. And that one's the count now 0-2, but now a runner hits at first. That is right there, and that's going to be out of play, foul. The count now 0-2. Hits that one and ricochets off the dirt. Wind up and the pitch, and that one's going to be outside for a ball. Count now 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. And here is the pitch. That one is high fly outside. The count now 2-2. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for ball 3. Ooh-wee. On deck, Kai Murphy. Now, if you get this one missed, and you get a chance getting that runner into scoring position. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That one is going to get down. Line drive, base hit. Runner goes to third, and the half inning stays alive.
Now batting, left fielder.
And so far, San Antonio, they say to Corpus Christi, we don't go quietly down in the half inning. Pretty good right there as he gets that one. Now first and third, San Antonio now just 90 feet away from scoring in the game's next run, and that's going to be right there now to play. The count now 0-1. Kai Murphy, the left fielder, 1 for 2 double. 90 feet is the runner from third, and so far pretty good on top of that there, John. That for sure.
That's a ball.
That one is high and outside is 1-1 the count. Boy, partly cloudy here today, and that will be fouled off and still hanging on. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. And the pitch is right there, called third strike. And they got him looking. Well, the 7th inning stretch gets going, and we lead it off in the 7th for Corpus Christi when we come back. Trevor Stenstrom and Whitaker will get things going in the bottom of the hooks, bottom of 7, and we will be right back.
Bottom half of the 7th inning set to go for Corpus Christi right now on the Hooks Baseball Network. Trevor Austin bell set to go as we lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th. Boy, he is the winning run at the plate. The pitch is right there, not a play foul. The count now 0-1 as we set to go. 1-1 tie between these two ball clubs. And that is going to be right there and in for a cold strike. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count, and here's the pitch. And that one hit right to right field. Carpathios does not move. Lets it come to him for the out. And there is one down. Right fielder Kellen Strom coming up to bat now. And the pitch. And he's going to hit that one high flying in the air. And that will get over for a base hit. Now the winning run sits at second. Boy, that one was well-defined hit right there, John. And I got to say, he hit it hard. To the absolute best of his knowledge, that's where it got hit hard. That is for sure. Here's Ty Whitaker. Can Ty do it? I think he can. And that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. 1-for-2 double by Ty here today. Here's the pitch. And that is right there inside for a strike. It's 0-2. Evan Fitterer doing pretty good. In relief for San Antonio. Here's the pitch. Right there, called third strike. They got him runged up to dry. And that is out number 2. And right there, Jason Chauvelin coming in now. As he takes that one in for a strike. The count now 0-1. 0-for-2, strikeout and a ground out. Boy, 8th inning will come if Corpus Christi doesn't score in the run. And that's going to be right there. And that's going to hit the base of the wall. And that's going to be the ball game. The Hooks will walk it off here in Game 1.
Man, and they did it. Wow, what a game this turned out to be. And Corpus Christi just took their 28th of the season.
Boy, San Antonio really didn't see that one coming. But the final score here today in Game 1, 2-1 Hooks. Well, fans can sit back, relax, because we are going to have more baseball. Game 2 coming up after a 30 to 45 minute rest period. McLaughlin will take the win for Corpus Christi. Evan Fitterer takes the loss for San Antonio. So far, a pretty good one. Game 2 coming up right after the commercial breaks. And so far, going to be pretty good. Secondary broadcast coming up after this one. So we will cut this one and then a live stream will start a new one. But most evidently we'll have a few clouds from time to time as we get into the 7 o'clock hour. And so far pretty good. Corpus Christi, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. And for San Antonio, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. Well, so far, pretty good. But most evidently, now it's time to see if San Antonio can get a win in Game 2. And we'll see how that turns out to be here in this one. Joseph Sullivan, 1 for 3, a home run RBI. Trey McLaughlin is the win, and he gets it for Corpus Christi. Evan Fitterer is the loss for San Antonio. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and leave, and we will see you guys back in just a little while for Game 2.